Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Amateur Hour podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to share our combined experiences of YouTube and live streaming in order to help newer channels get started. Today, I'm talking to my good friend Sam Taro. If you like what you hear, be sure to check his channel out in the description below. Today, we are talking about the problems that we have both dealt with in regards to YouTube and the benefits of live streaming. I hope you guys enjoy.
Solid half hour of dabbing and fidget spinners.
Ah, yes, fidget spinners. The real meat of this podcast.
We're all good now. Fidget spinners, dabbing, and Elsa.
Did I tell you about my my fanfic idea?
This is perfect time to explain.
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil it because it's my 500 subscriber special, even though I'm at like 530 subs now. Well, 520 something. Anyway,
do you want to spoil it, or you want to just get into the meat of this podcast right here?
Oh God, let's just. I'll spoil it real quick, but I might cut it out. We'll see. But yeah. So my theory is that there's a lot of YouTube channels that get demonetized constantly for videos. And I mean, just for having like adult themed content or cussing or whatever. But for some reason, Frozen videos, no matter what they are always not demonetized. So my idea is I'm going to find a really raunchy Frozen fanfic and see if it gets demonetized or not. And if it doesn't, oh boy.
So do you think that like Disney has some like, they're one of the ads that stuck around? I don't know. That'd be interesting to look into, whether Disney ever left or if they stuck around, and maybe like Disney was the only big boy sticking around Daddy YouTube.
Oh God. Well, my issue, I don't think it's so much that. I just think that YouTube is prone to, if it's child friendly, quote unquote, it'll like not automatically demonetize you. Like if I name a video "fuck dick shit," it's gonna be like, well, that's bad. Let's demonetize that. But if I name it Frozen Elsa Loves Her Sister, a fanfic written by Samuel Langford.
That would be a great one.
It wouldn't demonetize it because it's like, oh, well, this is obviously about Frozen and obviously for kids.
Well, I mean, like you have those like really popular, I think they even get more views than PewDiePie, those YouTube channels that are all those like toy unboxing, those creepy ass ones where people are like dressed up as Spider-Man and Elsa, and it just like, it's really creepy. Like it's worse than any horror film that I've ever seen. And they get like the giant eggs. I think iDubbbz did a content cop on them once, but it's, oh God, it's terrible. But they get tons of views just because they're like kids, quote unquote, channels. And I don't know, is there something like categorizes YouTube channels based off of like if they're a kids channel? Because you know how there's like restricted mode, but there's also the YouTube like kids mode now for some reason.
Yeah, I assume restricted mode is kids mode though. Like I don't think there's a difference.
But why is there like, there is a YouTube kids mode though, isn't there? Like that you can actually click onto? I swear to God.
No, there is, but I don't think the restricted mode is any different. I think it's literally the same thing.
Oh, you think that like YouTube was just saving money and they're like, yeah,
just make it the same thing. I mean, after the abysmal failure of what was it, the Heroes program?
Oh God,
is that even still around, or did they quietly sweep that under the rug?
Actually, I think it is still around because I think that's what affected a lot of the stuff getting unmonetized and put into restricted is people like liking it, but I don't think you get points or anything like that. Whole aspect of it is.
Oh, thank God.
But yeah, I like that Heroes when it came out. Of course, they like turned off the comments and the like thing that shows likes and dislikes on it because it was getting so much hate. Yeah. It's like if YouTube has to do that to their own video, God. Oh.
Yeah. So anyways, I figured today we can talk about our different channels because you and I are on different paths.
Oh, I'm on a path?
Yeah. You're on the Overwatch fan fiction highway to success. And I'm on the plebeian let's play oversaturated bullshit.
I'm on the senpai please no Yamate path.
But yeah, so like what is your main experience? Like if you could summarize your experience growing your channel, what would you say?
Well, first of all, when I got into that, it was just like joking about Overwatch fan fiction, and it was just like not so much I'm gonna read the Overwatch fan fiction as I'm gonna choose the cringiest one. Like I had never even really read fan fiction online. Like I know so many like girls, especially. I don't know why it's always girls who are just like secretly writing. Yeah, that's probably terribly sexist. That is beer flag. It's down. No, it's guys too. Everyone can do it. But who just like seem to write all this really, really like fantasy, almost like Fabio-esque novels about characters, and it's like the real cringy stuff that I like to read. It just because it's funny. And I started with that because like I typed into YouTube Overwatch fanfiction, and there was like nothing. There was like one video, and it's kind of like one of the paths to success people need to find on YouTube is just search and see if there is something there. Fill that like void. My void just happened to be cringeworthy Overwatch fanfiction, and then it just took off. Now that's like all people watch, and I have demand. That's scary.
So basically, you found your niche.
Yeah, I found a niche. It's not like necessarily something I always want to do. It's not what really defines my channel. It's just, it's kind of it's like when an actor does a bad movie and they like the guy who played the Mummy in the original Mummy, not this new shit one with Tom Cruise. And he's like only could play bad guys after that movie, or the like Arabian guy in that movie could only play like the sort of mysterious Arabian guy. And it's just, that's what the Overwatch fan fiction side of it has been. But that's kind of what you have to do with your channel.
That's really interesting. I mean, like on the opposite end of that, like the Let's Play side, because I know
the hard side.
Well, we both play games together, but like, you know, I know gaming isn't quite your like spot on YouTube. Like you don't really post a lot of gaming videos. You do gaming live streams though.
Yeah, I used to do that sort of thing, but like it like hats off to you because it's so much dedication. Like my mind just wanders after like 2 videos of Let's Plays.
Oh, have you seen all my unfinished Let's Plays?
I know, but you get like 4 episodes deep at least, and that's more than me.
Oh man,
I think I have one with 12 videos though, but it was like Xenoblade Chronicles, which was the first thing I did on this new channel that I have.
Yeah, I love doing the Let's Play stuff, but it is such an oversaturated market. Like you really have to dedicate a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
here's the thing for like your channel, especially though, that I've noticed with mine, because like I have these videos from 2014 of that I still need to finish. Actually, I'm going to return to.
You've been working on videos since 2014?
On this channel, yeah. I have the Wario Land Shake It is one of the first Let's Plays I did on this channel because it started off as a Let's Play channel. And I got like, it's a pretty short game, and I got like 5 or 6 episodes in, and there's only like 4 hours left, so I should just finish it off. But like, it started off with like no views, and I was kind of like, well, I'm bored of this. And then like now in 2017, the first video has like over 1,000. It's just like one of those things that I've noticed in my Xenoblade Chronicles one too. Like several of those have like several thousand views. It's like sometimes with those Let's Plays, they'll sit on the shelf for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden you'll look at it and be like, shit, what the hell? Like, so I wouldn't discourage yourself or other Let's Players out there listening too much. Like, I think it's just like you kind of got to get your content out there, and like once it starts linking together.
Yeah, like you kind of have to have that library before like I'm starting to get views on videos that I did like a year ago, and they were just dead videos, but now they're getting up there. But I think a big thing, especially for Let's Players, is that like it's really discouraging when, you know, you're looking at all the big Let's Players like Markiplier and PewDiePie and all them, and they're getting like millions of views on a video, and you're looking at your videos and they got like 10. And you're like, well, why am I not getting at least 100 views? And like people forget that like 1,000 views is a lot. Like that's 1,000 people who watched your video.
Yeah, I mean, like, and they were small at one point too. I mean, Markiplier's first channel even got shut down, and he had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Granted, he had a following, but still.
Yeah, I mean, like people also underplay the luck factor. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. All praise to Markiplier because he puts out good content, but he got lucky. Like, his first video, which one was it? It was Amnesia. He posted that on Reddit, and it got like front page, and that's like how he got his start. And like, if you get anything on the front page of Reddit, like that's luck.
So the big elephant in the room, of course, is not only the luck and finding your niche and having it sit there for a while to be discovered, but also YouTube kind of making it a bit harder for people to get their content seen, which is, something that's up for debate amongst a lot of YouTubers. But there's a pretty decent consensus that behind the algorithms of YouTube, there are certain video types that aren't being displayed.
I mean, I absolutely believe that, but I've been through the shitty end of that as a smaller channel. Of course, I'm not losing hundreds of thousands of subs, but I've noticed trends when I upload. For example, I tend to lose a subscriber. That's slowing down now, though. I don't know if that was a glitch or if YouTube's implementing something, but it was pretty consistent.
Yeah, why don't you explain that for everyone so they completely understand what's going on with that, or what was to its fullest effect going on with your subs?
I mean, I want to explain it better, but I don't really know how. I mean, so basically every time I would upload or live stream, basically anytime my channel would update with anything. So if I made a new playlist or I updated it or I uploaded a video or live stream or anything, I would lose a subscriber. It would just go down instantly. As soon as the upload was done, subscriber lost. And I don't know what caused it. I don't know what happened to it. It's definitely slowed down now. It's not quite the case at this point. But
so that happened to you when you were streaming too, right? Or was that when the stream finished and was like archived?
It was when the stream was finished and archived. As soon as it updated on the upload, or updated in the video logs.
Even if it was unlisted, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what we call a problem.
Well, again, like I'm super grateful. I'm not making money at this point, because I would be super more pissed than I am about it.
I mean, you also for a while there didn't even have the opportunity to make any money.
Yeah, I mean, like it discouraged me a lot, because it was like, it sucks because not every video I upload is going to get even a single subscriber. So it's kind of like I was just getting a negative balance on everything I was doing. Fortunately, that's not the case anymore, but, back then.
So it has stopped that you're losing subscribers?
I still lose them every now and then, but it's definitely not every time I upload. So I'm assuming it's just people realize my content's shitty, and then they just leave.
and for people who don't realize, this was like not just like him questioning it. Like, it was questioning it for maybe a couple days. We're like, oh, maybe it's just, a number of things. And then like a month, 2 months go by, and every time he uploads, or like he would do streams and then upload as well, and coincidentally lose 2 or 3 subs. And it was just like abnormal. It's like he's not like, we might like turn some people off with some of our content, but I would hope we're not that hated that it's actual people.
Well, like when you go from like borderline 500 subscribers to like, I think the lowest was back down to 468 or something like that. Like that's when you're like, there's a problem.
Yeah, especially when you actually were steadily gaining for a while. And then when that happened, it was just kind of like held you back, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, when you grow fast, I imagine you're expected to lose fast too. It's like, you get a lot of subs really quickly, and then, maybe a lot of them decide to unsub. I mean, it could have been. It still could have been a coincidence. Like I'm not saying it's not a coincidence at all, because it definitely could have been. But this kind of thing just makes my inner conspiracy theorist be like, it was YouTube.
Conspiracy theory. I mean, it's happened to so many people that at this point, like, and from what I've read and understand, anytime anyone brings it to YouTube, they're just like, we don't have a glitch. That's not happening to your channel. And it's just like, what?
Well, that honestly makes me just think
happens.
It was intentional, like they implemented something and it was like, well, this is not child friendly or whatever. He dropped the F-bomb, so let's get rid of him. Like, I don't know.
I think half the problem at YouTube is they're just not transparent with like anything they're doing.
No, when I had my, going into another subject, when I had my AdSense suspended, like it was impossible to get any kind of help. Like no one knew what to say, or no one knew what to say to me or who to send me to. Like YouTube was like, oh yeah, just go to AdSense and talk to them. And AdSense doesn't have an email unless you make a certain amount of money. So it's like, I was just up shit's creek without a paddle,
Yeah, you just get stuck in the loop going back and forth.
Yeah, I finally just said screw it and just didn't care, and now I'm back. So, well, hopefully it won't happen again, because I don't think YouTube's going to suspend me again. It'll be a ban.
So do you have any like idea as to what could have caused your channel to lose its like privileges as far as that go? You've got them all back now.
Yes,
Everyone
yes.
should be aware of that.
So the thing I was accused of was clicking on my own ads. It was just not something I do, because if I'm making, I think I've made like 50 cents in the last month, so I'm not like rolling in the YouTube money. But yeah, so I got an email one morning and it's like, oh, you've been clicking your own ads and we don't like that, so we're going to suspend your AdSense while we solve this issue. And, I was kind of like, I don't click my own ads, so why are you doing this? And I tried emailing them, got no help. And then I started researching on my own, and I noticed that one of my videos was very odd. It was a stream I had done back in October. This happened in, God, when was this? Just like 2 months ago? Well, anyway, it happened back in October 2016. It was a stream I did. It was unlisted. And I noticed that in the month prior, it had gained like $1.50, which is way more than I make on any video ever, in revenue. So I think I got botted by someone, and it just
it seems to be a problem too, because I remember I had ran some ads and just to promote my channel, and I remember only putting like some small amount on it. That was actually that one video that got a shit ton of views on. And I'm like, where are all these coming from? I did not pay for this many, because I went into what is it, AdWords or AdSense, whichever one you pay for the ads. I was getting them all confused. But anyways, I went in there and it said that like that was like $264 worth of like people clicking that. Like, I thought I had owed that, but luckily there's like a cap. So if it goes above that, like what you set for your campaign, you don't have to pay that. Now things have changed a bit now, so I'm not sure what it's like now. But so I freaked out and I I straight up messaged customer support's live chat, and they actually got back to me and they were like, well, it took them a while because, like you said, you kind of go in loops. But then they were just kind of like, oh no, you don't have to worry, because there is this cap, and it turns out that there is like a huge botting problem that people will purposely click on ads, or they have like a bot that clicks on people's ads to essentially get YouTube channels suspended.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
because it looks like what happened with yours, and like that's why they put the cap on there, so you don't have to pay for it too, because it used to be like you'd essentially get stuck paying for what the bot did.
Ooh, yeah, that would suck.
I'm sure people contested it and didn't have to actually pay it, but yeah, there are a lot of issues going on, and it's just, I wish YouTube would look more into the source of the problem. Like, obviously with you, it's clear that you're not clicking your own ads. And I mean, for 50 cents a month, you could literally just go to like an arcade and look under some arcade machines for 50 cents. But
it'd be much more profitable. But like, that brings up so I guess, well, the moral of that is, if you have a YouTube channel, make sure you're paying attention to like any spikes you have in revenue, because it's like that could very easily happen to you, and you can combat it as long as you get to it soon enough. So keep an eye on that.
Look at your analytics like a lot.
Yeah, ever since that happened, I look at them every day.
It's one of the best tools that they do give you, and it's also one of the most depressing, because like when the adpocalypse hit, I just watched my analytics like plummet. Like, it went from like, I'm a small channel, so I've only got 650 subscribers right now, but like it went from like making $10 a month, like just plummeting day by day, like 20-30 cents, which like to someone who's a big channel isn't much, but for a small channel, that's like a lot of what I would typically get in ads and everything. So I was just kind of like, what's going on here? But now it's everyone seems to be on YouTube saying that things like ads are coming back, the advertisers are coming back, and I have noticed that pretty much everything is up on YouTube for me right now, at least. Like the ads have gone up, like they jumped almost 60 cents in a day. I mean, part of that has to do with some of my videos that started getting like attention and stuff, but I have noticed like everything's pretty much in the green, which for like the last couple weeks, maybe even month or two, like things were ever since the Wall Street Journal thing, like things kind of slowed down for a long time, and just like even getting videos to be seen on YouTube seemed to be like a hard thing to do.
Tell me about it.
But like really hard.
But in all honesty, dude, like even $10 a month, like, I mean, compared to my revenue, like that's a ton of money, like compared to what I'm making at least. And we're about the same size. Like we've got about 100 subscriber difference.
I mean, like a lot of that has to do with like just finding your niche. Unfortunately, you pump out really high quality Let's Plays, but you have to soldier on until you make that break. But you're starting to, especially with streaming, so, and it helps to have that second channel to go through as well.
Oh yeah, I love streaming, and you've started streaming too, which is pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
it's a completely different world.
Yeah, and I think we both take like different approaches to that too, because, and I think for your approach, it's really, really helpful for a Let's Player to look at it like you do, whereas like I'm more of like just like doing like these one-off pieces. And like the streams to me are just sort of like for my own entertainment and just to interact with the audience I already have and build it a bit too. But I feel like for a Let's Player, like in this day and age, it's almost important to stream, because like to get people in to see your YouTube videos, you kind of have to show you have a personality, and like streams really let you do that.
Well, you know, it's interesting because I read an article recently, and it kind of turned my ideas of what it meant to be successful on YouTube upside down. So, like, I was always under the impression, like, oh, it's the subscriber number. You want high subscriber numbers. Like, subscribers are everything. And, like, in the long run, they are, kind of. But at the end of the day, what's really everything is view count, because more views means more potential subscribers. So, like, I spent all my time focusing on, like, I need more subscribers when I should have been focusing on I need more views. In that regard, streaming absolutely is, like, imperative to growing a channel. But I can also say that I've been streaming for half a year now, and stream subscribers don't necessarily translate into video subscribers. They're kind of two different entities for the most part. But you'll occasionally get those crossovers, and that's always nice.
And that's something important too, especially people who are choosing YouTube gaming over Twitch, is a lot of people don't realize that, like, well, for our channels it doesn't really matter as much because all of our videos are YouTube gaming for the most part. Because if you upload a gaming video, it gets thrown onto YouTube gaming for the most part, unless you're like putting it in like blogs or some weird like food thing that doesn't belong in.
Let's play food.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would still go there for that, but so like when people go to YouTube gaming and they hit the subscribe when you're streaming, or if they see your video in the app, say you made like a Let's Play video, it's not even a stream, they're actually like subscribing to another like section of your channel. Like they're not subscribing to your main channel, they're subscribing to your YouTube gaming channel, which is like stupidly confusing in my opinion. Like they should just be part of my channel as well. But YouTube in its mind, like, I mean, YouTube gaming came about as a sort of like, because YouTube wanted to buy out Twitch, but Amazon got it, so they like kind of whipped it together and pooped it out. And so it's kind of like it's separate entity, but not. But I think it's really important for people to understand that, because a lot of people like to do daily vlogs and stuff, and if they're doing both at the same time, they're like really missing out on a big chunk of viewership that come from the stream viewers.
Yeah.
And like you said as well too, like even on YouTube streaming, those people tend to like, they'll comment on your video, your like archive streams and stuff, but they tend to wait around for you to stream again more than like watch a video you upload, at least in my experience. Or they'll be like constantly, if they do go to a video you just upload, they'll just be like, so when's the next stream?
Yeah. Oh, when I feel like it, Mom. No, it's well, I mean that's pretty much how it goes. But what's your opinion on, because we both have different philosophies in streaming too. What's your opinion on like other avenues of streaming? So like YouTube versus Twitch. And even we'll take it a little further. What's your opinion on different avenues for video uploads? I guess in this case, VidMe versus YouTube, even though obviously one is a lot bigger than the other. What do you think about that?
Well, YouTube versus Twitch, I guess we should start with that. Like, as my opinion for that goes is like, from what we've said earlier too, is it's really hard to get Twitch people over to YouTube. It's really easy to get YouTube people over to Twitch. Like, you're not going to get your whole base over there, but a lot of people, if you're on YouTube and you go, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, they'll probably go watch you, because Twitch is kind of like the main platform for, it's sort of like the Netflix of live like game streaming, I guess you could say, because like everyone has like Netflix or Hulu and all these things, but typically people will have Netflix as far as that goes. So I always see Twitch as the like, that's like the standard, like the gold standard for people. But I mean, for really small communities who want to build on their like YouTube brand, I think YouTube's really good for that, because you can like, it's more interacting with people who are like subscribing to you already and people who follow your content. Like when I started streaming Overwatch on YouTube, I would get like up to like 15 viewers, and like you're barely gonna get one viewer streaming in a game as huge as Overwatch on Twitch. Now, if you stream indie games on Twitch, you're gonna do better than a lot would do on YouTube, at least from what I've seen. I could be completely wrong, but I think you have a bigger chance at some of the more oversaturated games, and a lot of them will tie into what your like content already is on your channel. Like people, like for me, Overwatch fan fiction, those joke videos, people wanted to see me actually play Overwatch, so they show up, and like I'll do my YouTube subscriber celebrations in the form of a live stream, and then you actually get like a flood of people coming in. And it's really cool because it's like a party atmosphere. It's less about building your streaming and more about just like celebrating the content on your YouTube channel. That's how I view it, at least.
Yeah.
Twitch is like a full-blown streaming community. Like I'm always watching people on Twitch, like, and I have since the platform took off, because I had started on Blog TV when I was like 19, so that's already, God, I'm 27, so do the math. And I remember just like having like 10, 20 people in my streams, and like some of the people that I would interact with even there like kind of blew up into like big musicians on YouTube. But and then like at the time it was Justin TV and Twitch wasn't even a thing, and then Twitch came out of Justin TV because people were like, well, we want to stream games on like live stream games, and then that just like blew all the streaming services out of the water, and Justin TV shut down, and now Twitch is like the go-to streaming thing. And it's kind of ironic because IRL streams are like really popular, which is what Justin TV was. So it's like it shut down, and now it's becoming like there's the demand for that side of things again.
It's growing in strength.
As far as VidMe and YouTube goes, like it's kind of a crapshoot, to be honest, with VidMe. Like you're not going to get as many views right now, and it's really comes down to like the decisions YouTube makes, and what kind of backing and decisions the people at VidMe are going to make. Like you can get a small audience going right now, but nothing to like support yourself on. And if the platform like takes off at some point, maybe in a couple of years or something, then you can like really hit the jackpot, but you have to get in early. But the problem is it's like I said, it's a crapshoot. So if it doesn't take off, like if you've only uploaded to VidMe, like for VidMe, you've wasted a lot of time. That's why I would suggest, if people are going to do that, still upload to YouTube and kind of just maybe edit like parts of your content a little different to fit for both. I don't know, but there's like tons of things, and I've noticed other stream services too, like I think Hitbox, which turned into some other thing. I don't even remember the name. They always change their names. And then Beam, which is what, Mixer now.
Yeah, that wonderful name.
And I've noticed like those have good like amount of people there, but like a lot of the games are just dead. Like I'll just go to like Player Unknown on like Mixer, and there'll be like one guy with all the views, and everyone just has 0. And so it's just kind of like, I wouldn't even honestly waste my time with those streaming sites. I would just do Twitch or YouTube, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It could take off. Who knows?
Well, as you know, I do the multi-stream thing, and I don't know. I find it really interesting because it's cool to grow the multiple channels at the same time, and I've also found that different games are big on different mediums. So like for Twitch, for example, Domina, I once had like 50 or 60 people watching me on Twitch, and like 0 on YouTube. And then I was playing PlayerUnknown Battleground, and I had 50 people watching me on YouTube, but no one was watching me on Twitch. So it's very weird to see like how people react to different games on these different networks. And some of it could be oversaturation. Like obviously PlayerUnknown is super oversaturated on Twitch, but for some reason on YouTube it isn't, you know?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's that's kind of like what I was saying earlier too. It's like sometimes on YouTube with those big games, there's still quite a few people watching them, but there's less streamers streaming them because everyone's on Twitch. But because of that, some of the small games are just like, and YouTube does one gripe I have, like YouTube has amazing streaming for smaller people. Like you can have up to 4K, I think, even at 60 frames.
Yeah.
And but one gripe I have is like their organization and their interface is terrible. Like one thing Twitch has, because I'm really into retro games, is like a retro game section now, or they have the IRL section, or because one of the problems with retro games is like, who the hell is streaming for like searching for Kirby's Dream Land or like really old games? Like you'll get some people, maybe like at most like 100 people will be looking for that game if you're really lucky. Like if you're really lucky. Or if you're like already have a fan base, people will go there to look for you, like playing that. But like having one big like chunk on like section on Twitch that's labeled retro, it has a bunch of different games, yeah, so you can have to sift through it all, but like people have the chance of discovering you playing these old games, which is something really nice. And that's something that YouTube hasn't it just hasn't clicked in their brains yet, that for certain things they need categories. Like they really need categories like that.
Yeah, and I think as far as sheer numbers go, YouTube has the upper hand as far as streaming. Because every time I've seen a multi-streamer, which granted it's far and few between, I've only seen a couple, but the YouTube side always seems to be the larger side. Like, you know, it'll be like, oh, they have 8,000 on YouTube and 1,000 on Twitch, or I think in one case it was like 18,000 on YouTube and like 4,000 on Twitch, you know? It's
right.
YouTube seems to have the larger audience, and
I would.
Well,
baby.
Well,
just word embrace.
Yeah, let me. I'll
go ahead.
Okay. So, like for me, and going back to what happened to me a couple months ago with my AdSense getting suspended, I decided I didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket, so I was gonna multi-stream to both Twitch and YouTube, and that's pretty much where that decision came from. And honestly, I think it's gonna work out better than just streaming to one in general, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, I think so too, and it allows you to feel out both fields. I think it works really well early on, but if like you blow up on one or the other, then like Twitch pretty much forces you to not multi-stream, but then it becomes a little confusing because like right now your chats are connected and it shows it in both, but like if let's say you have 500 people talking, that's gonna be like
chaos,
a giant cluster. Yeah. But one thing I will say about YouTube gaming is recently people like CNanners have started streaming, and I've seen like other big streamers just playing games. So like that kind of pool has brought in a lot more people, made a lot more people aware. Like for like last Parable, since the ad apocalypse or whatever you want to call it happened, I noticed like CNanners' channel for like several weeks was just straight up streaming videos. Like he wouldn't even edit anything because why bother? He would just like get on stream PlayerUnknown for like an hour and a half and throw that up on his YouTube channel.
Well, yeah, if we're talking about making a living, it's like
even his YouTube like thumbnails for it were just like half-assed because YouTube kind of put people in that position.
Yeah,
but
it's one thing. It's one thing for you and me who are making cents on the dollar for every month. Yeah. But like if you're making a living at this and YouTube's like, nah, you're not making a living at this anymore.
Exactly.
You gotta adjust.
But Anyways, it is time for me to retire from this. Retire from the podcast in general, but it is about 8:30. So
yeah, we are going on 35 minutes here, so I guess we'll close it up. So
this has been Sam Taro. You can check me out at youtube.com/Sam Taro. I think that'll work. Whatever. The link will be in the description. But more importantly, this guy over here.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm Montague. You can find me at youtube.com/Montague Gaming, but who cares because the link will be in the description below. And I do subpar Let's Plays.
His Let's Plays are not subpar, and he needs support because Let's Plays are so hard, as we discussed. But yeah, so I look forward to doing more of these, though.
Yeah, I
think this was fun. It flew by too, which is insane.
If you've made it to the end of this and you have any suggestions for a future podcast, please let us know in the comments because this is a lot of fun and it's definitely bringing some fun, interesting content.
We're just like the two old guys from the Muppets. Just up in YouTube and those ads. It's starting to sound like that.
I was about to say, are you Bill Cosby right now?
I better end it there. We don't want this to get put in restricted mode.
Oh, so. Yeah. So,
I'm sure it already is. But, hey.
So have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching our first podcast.
Thanks for coming.